knives at Walmart are locked up, and then to have this weapon sitting right there, bright colored, just beckoning a child. I mean,
a concern of safety measures in stores after a stun gun lands in a child's hands. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Krista Bain. A Fargo woman reached out with concerns after her 7-year-old nephew grabbed a stun gun at a counter display at Mac's hardware store. Valley News Team's Christina Craig looks into this situation that now has the store changing its ways.
As he was paying, he hears this. My nephew had picked it up and played with it.
One wrong move could have turned dangerous. A family trip to Mac's hardware store turned sour when Sarah Zink's 7-year-old nephew reached for a stun gun that was laying out on the cashier's counter. Bright green, entitled Zombie Stun Gun.
And they see something that color and it looks cool, they're gonna pick it up and play with it.
That's exactly what her nephew did. Labeled clearly on the box reads, "Do not let children in reach of this product." Furious, no employee put the personal protection weapon away. Zink called store management.
The customer took a look at it, opened the box, set it back down, but didn't put it actually back in the box because we don't have actual displays out of those. And no, the cashier did not have an opportunity to put it back in its box.
I asked him why he would have something that dangerous in reach of a child at the counter, and he told me, well, if they're tall enough to reach it, they're old enough to know better.
As a result, store management tells us they fixed the problem immediately in all of their 12 store locations.
At this point, I've had them all removed because I have to reevaluate how we can, how can we still sell them but make sure mistakes like this don't happen.
I hope they would improve or talk to their employees and let them know, if you take this out, it has to be put away.
Management says it's something they're working on to secure for safety of customers. In Fargo, Christina Craig, Valley News Live.
And that was a concerned family member that reached out to us about the store. And if there's something you'd like to investigate or you'd like us to investigate, call our whistleblower team at 701-237-6576 and leave your tip. A 21-year-old driver died after he rear-ended a semi-truck on I-94 earlier today. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says the 21-year-old man was driving east when he crashed into the back of a semi that was stopped in the passing lane about 6 miles east of Richardton. The semi was stopped because of another truck that pulled over on the side of the road due to icy conditions. Both 19-year-old and 20-year-old passengers were taken to a hospital in Dickinson. A crash and a rollover happened when drivers tried to avoid the first crash, but no one was injured in those. A New Mexico man was arrested last night on DUI charges and refusal to test after he rolled his vehicle in Otter Tail County. 27-year-old Bradley Strahlendorf of Albuquerque was driving on Highway 78 when he rolled his SUV on the Rush Lake Loop. State Patrol says he was not wearing his seatbelt but did not suffer any injuries. A reminder to residents in Moorhead, police are holding a community meeting tomorrow about 2 level 3 sex offenders who moved to town. Fabius Apollo is living in the 700 block of 8th Street South, and Alan Jemgochian is permanently living in Fargo but lists a second address in the 800 block of 23rd Avenue South in Moorhead. Jemgochian forced his victim to have sex with him. A community meeting is at 7 p.m. tomorrow at Concordia's Knutson Campus Center. A bill is working its way through Congress, which could take some of the burden off those with student loan debt. Right now, federal student loans can't be refinanced for lower interest rates. Senator Al Franken co-authored a bill that would make it possible to refinance that debt. That could lead to big savings for the average Minnesota graduate who finishes college with an average of $30,000 in student loans. Franken's bill would not only allow graduates to refinance, but current students as well.
In a barrier to economic growth, a lot of people are delaying buying a home, they're delaying starting a business, they're delaying starting families because of the debt that they carry.
Minnesota has the 5th highest debt level average in the nation for students graduating college. Prices at the pump have continued to sway, but you can soon expect them to sway in your favor this time. According to the Lundberg survey, a gallon of regular is now on average $2.50. That's down 4 cents from a couple weeks ago. And we can thank lower crude oil prices and high gasoline production from U.S. refiners for the decrease. The survey predicts the high production could push the price of gas down a few more cents as long as oil prices don't go up. Prices around Fargo are anywhere from $2.19 to $2.24. As we slowly see warmer weather this spring, we'll see more bikes on the road. Deadly motorcycle crashes happen every year. The Minnesotan already lost his life in an accident this year. And now it serves as a reminder for both drivers and riders. Valley News Team's Macy Anger looks at what both sides do to keep everyone safe.
Motorcycle fans unite. Whitney Hogan and her family are one of hundreds that rolled in to the FM Crusaders motorcycle show over the weekend. At only 3 years old, their little boy is already in love with the sport.
We went out to storage and we rode our bikes back, and when we brought him home, he's like, motorcycles, and he's trying to touch both of them. He's so excited.
But for Mom, it's a tough decision when to take him riding.
Worried about if that's the right thing to do and what might happen. And my 6-month-old here, I was pregnant last summer, and you worry about even riding while you're pregnant. Definitely changes the way you look at safety.
She's not the only parent who worries about the road.
You know, the last thing I want to do is have one of my kids get hurt.
As long as they're smart about it, that's all I want. No messing around.
When it comes to safety, every motorcyclist that I talk with said they wish drivers paid more attention when they're on the roads. For drivers, it can be hard to see motorcyclists, especially when they're in their blind spot, which is why motorcyclists are asked to wear bright colors, pay attention to the road surfaces, and wear helmets. And drivers are asked to pay attention every time they hop in the car.
We're not out there to take chances. We're out there to enjoy, the passion for motorcycles.
That's what Mom, Whitney Hogan, wants for her son.
Bring him up around it and make him comfortable with it.
So he can enjoy the ride too. Macy Anger, Valley News Live.
North Dakota does require motorcyclists to take a test for a permit, but many riders also recommend taking an 8-hour class that shows you how to ride safely and can help you earn your license. And remember, you can like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day.